Hello y'all, this is the Ninja DC, trying something different this time around, once again. But that is not the subject of today's video. Today I'm here to break down Rarity Investigates and show how a poor dual-tagionist episode can still be a good episode. First off, when I say dual-tagionist episode, I mean one where the perspective is split between two of the main six. These can be great episodes, like Green Ain't Your Color. By having both protagonists learn lessons in a natural way, they can play off each other in either a complementary way or a conflicting way. The point is, their interaction is what drives the narrative. I feel all of the map episodes this season will attempt to be this to some degree. However, Rarity Investigates sort of fails as a dual-tagonist episode, as Rainbow Dash and Rarity have poor chemistry in the episode, at least during the biggest phase of it. Sure, they do have some good chemistry at the beginning and the end, but during the investigation part, it's less interaction and more Rainbow Dash reaction to Rarity's, well, rarityness. In this way, Rainbow feels more like a narrative anchor than a second protagonist, which is rather disappointing as Rainbow Dash has a very similar tomboy personality to AJ, which who we already know makes, well, a great combo with Rarity. Rainbow's reactions to Rarity also create another problem as well, with a constant shift of aesthetics in a rather abrupt way. Look, I really don't like crime noir stories, but I really did like the aesthetics that they chose here. However, the constant jerking back and forward between Rarity and reality just keeps me from getting invested in either of them. Not to mention narratively, each shift was less a speed bump in the episode's tension and more a brick wall. In a way, it reminds me a lot of the recent Godzilla films' frequent and annoying cuts away from the action. Honestly, this episode would have been stronger if they would have reduced Rainbow Dash's role, specifically during the investigation part. Say, for example, Rainbow Dash is being interrogated by the Wonderbolts, while Rarity investigates on her own, constantly in a noir mode. We get to see the evidence, but instead of Rainbow or some other pony telling us it's pointless, we are just presented it as such. You know, the whole show not tell thing. With that said, this episode is best described as a flawed gem, which ironically was a plot point. However, before I get into that, it's time for an analyst update. This time on Fluttershy's brother. Since last week, several important details have come forward. One being Brotherhood Social appears to be a Big Mac episode, meaning not an episode where Flutter Brother is revealed. The odds of it being Scaremaster on another hoof just went up. And on another, more personal note, related to this episode, I believe this blur here is no longer Flutter Brother, as he is clearly this episode's antagonist. With this development, I shift my suspicion to this cult figure here, behind Fluttershy. The blotted out characters seem to be roughly grouped to the main six they are related to, including this episode. On top of this, the figure seems to be staring down and towards Flutters, and appearing to have a bat-style sharp wing design, which if he is revealed in Scaremaster would make sense. So he's now my number one Flutter Brother contender. That or he's Big Mac if Brotherhood Social gets rather weird. Now back to the episode at Hoof. While Rarity Investigates has its flaws, it also has a lot of highlights. Chief among them being the episode's fresh feel. Episode fatigue is starting to slowly creep into this series, with many complaining about similar plot lines. However, Rarity Investigates feels completely fresh. In a way, it reminds me a lot of Season 2's episodes, where every episode took a lot of risk in terms of narrative exploration. This episode tries to be a dual-tagonist episode, developing Rainbow Dash's Wonderbolt status and parodying crime noir through Rarity, while also exploring Rarity and Rainbow Dash's not really explored relationship. Again, it took a lot of risk. Some panned out, some didn't, but I greatly respect the writer. Sweet Celestia, that's one hell of a writing credit rap sheet. Said detective work is also much better handled this time around compared to Mystery on the Friendship Express. You know, we actually get to see the clues this time around so we can actually form a hypothesis. For example, we clearly see Rainbow's hair was cut when it was first revealed. That is, if you were paying close attention. Not to mention, the episode also uses great subtle foreshadowing, like Rarity's silk stain line. Rarity Investigates also clearly shows Rainbow Dash's development with the Wonderbolts, with a Wonderbolt reserve being an actual position she fills. And oh yeah, Pegasi parents, they do exist. So to summarize, Rarity Investigates is a good episode that is held back by trying to be something it's not. Well, this is the Ninja DC. Keep calm and an open mind. DHX, do you know what Rule 34 monster you have unleashed upon us?